You wouldn't last a week growing up like this today. And honestly, that's exactly why it was unforgettable. There was a time when childhood didn't come with trackers, check-ins, or constant supervision. You didn't schedule play, you disappeared into it. Entire days unfolded without a single adult knowing where you were. And somehow, that was completely fine. Back then, the only rule that mattered was simple. Leave after breakfast, return before dark. That was it. No calls, no updates, no questions. You could be anywhere, deep in the woods, miles away at a mate's house, or climbing somewhere you definitely shouldn't be. But no one panicked because every kid lived the same way. It wasn't neglect, it was normal. Today, that same situation would spark alarms, phone calls, maybe even authorities getting involved. But in the 70s, it was just growing up, and that was only the beginning. If you enjoy uncovering how life used to really be, you might want to stick around with Hidden Plates UK. There's a lot more you probably won't believe. And please subscribe this YouTube channel. Let's talk about things that felt completely harmless, but really weren't. Take family car journeys. If there weren't enough seats, no problem. You just piled in wherever you fit. Kids lying in the boot, pressed against the back window, waving at strangers behind the car like it was part of the fun. No restraints, no protection, just movement and laughter. A sudden stop? You slid and laughed even more. Or playgrounds, if you could even call them that. These weren't soft, padded spaces. They were metal structures under blazing sun, spinning rides that could launch you across the ground, and climbing frames towering over hard concrete. Getting hurt wasn't unusual. It was expected. And bikes? Everyone had one. No one had a helmet? You rode fast, took risks, built ramps, and pushed limits daily. Protection didn't exist in your world. It wasn't even considered. Looking back, it's shocking how much danger was built into ordinary moments. But at the time, it just felt like freedom. And then, there were the things adults did that made it even worse. It wasn't just what kids did, it was what surrounded them. Cigarette smoke was everywhere. Inside homes, inside cars, around dinner tables, it filled the air constantly. Adults smoked without hesitation. Even near babies or in enclosed spaces, you breathed it in daily without ever questioning it, because no one else did either. Then there was something as simple as drinking water. You didn't run inside for a clean glass. You grabbed the nearest hose. Warm, slightly strange-tasting water straight from a pipe that had been sitting outside for days. No filters, no concerns. Just quick hydration before getting back to play. And that play often took you to places you absolutely shouldn't have been, like construction sites. Half-built structures became your playground. You climbed beams, jumped across gaps, and explored unstable environments filled with sharp objects and hidden hazards. Adults knew. They just didn't see it as a crisis. It kept you busy. That was enough. But summer brought a whole different kind of risk. When the sun came out, so did a whole new level of exposure. There was no such thing as sun protection. You stayed outside all day, your skin slowly turning from light to burned. That redness, it wasn't avoided. It was almost a badge of honor, proof that you'd spent the day properly. If it got bad, maybe someone applied something soothing. But preventing it? That wasn't part of the mindset. And then came celebrations, especially the kind involving fireworks. Kids didn't just watch, they handled them. Sparklers, explosives, rockets, bought easily, used freely. You lit them yourself, often without supervision, turning streets and back gardens into unpredictable danger zones. Accidents happened, injuries were common, but the excitement always outweighed the fear. And through all of this, one thing remained constant. Kids were expected to handle themselves, which leads to the final piece of the puzzle. Imagine being 5 years old and fully responsible for getting yourself to school. That wasn't unusual. It was expected. You grabbed your bag, stepped outside, and made the journey alone, or maybe with another child from nearby. You crossed roads, figured out directions, and dealt with whatever came your way. No one escorted you, no one signed you in, no one tracked your arrival. If you stumbled, you got back up. If you got confused, you figured it out. Independence wasn't taught slowly, it was assumed from the start. And when the school day ended, you simply made your way home again. Compare that to today. Secured gates, verified pickups, constant supervision. The difference is massive. But here's the real question. Did growing up this way make life more dangerous? Or did it make people stronger? If this took you back or opened your eyes, drop a comment and share your thoughts. Your perspective genuinely adds to the conversation here. And if you want more stories like this, exploring the past in a way most people forget, consider subscribing and sharing this with someone who remembers it differently. Because the way we grew up might say more about us than we think.